If you've been wondering whether depression is enough to qualify for PIP, you're in the right place. This video is going to show you what actually matters when applying for PIP because of depression. We're cutting through all the confusion and giving you the truth. We're going to show you exactly what parts of your daily life are looked at, how severe depression affects your points, and the type of evidence that really helps. It's all based on what's actually relevant. No myths, no fluff. This is for anyone applying for PIP, whether it's a brand new claim, a review, or a tribunal. You'll walk away knowing what makes a strong case and what's just a distraction. It's all about how depression affects your day-to-day. You'll also learn about the key activities that are scored, what prompting actually means, how your motivation matters, and why being honest is more powerful than trying to say what you think they want to hear. So if you want the clearest view on PIP and depression, stay tuned. And please like and subscribe so we can help more people get the support they need. Let's start with the most important point. PIP is not about your diagnosis. It doesn't matter how many mental health conditions you've been told you have, or even how many medications you're on. PIP doesn't give automatic points for having depression or any other condition. What matters most is how your condition affects your daily life. This includes things like preparing food, managing therapy, and even how often you can get out of bed. It's about real-life impact, not labels. To claim PIP successfully for depression, the condition needs to be quite severe. If you're still going out, socializing, working, and generally managing, even if it's hard, it's unlikely you'll score the points needed. This guide is mainly for those struggling in a major way. If it's hard for you to get off the sofa, get dressed, or even eat, this is for you. The PIP system is looking at that level of difficulty, not just feeling low or having bad days, but being stuck and needing support or encouragement for the most basic things. Let's talk about the activities PIP looks at. There are two main sections, daily living and mobility. Daily living has 10 activities. Mobility has 2. Each activity has a scoring system based on the kind of help or prompting you need. In the daily living section, preparing food is a big one. If you need someone to encourage you or remind you to cook, or you often skip meals because you can't face it, you could score points. The key word here is prompting. That's what they're measuring. Taking nutrition, that's about actually eating. Again, if someone needs to prompt or encourage you to eat because depression makes it hard, that matters. They're not judging your cooking skills. They're looking at whether you can eat without help or reminders. Managing therapy is another important one, especially if you're on medication or other treatment. If someone else has to help you take your meds or you need support to stick to therapy, that counts. It's also about understanding what you're taking and remembering to take it. Washing and bathing is another common struggle. If depression means you don't wash regularly or need encouragement to do so, that's prompting again. You don't need to be physically unable. Mental health impacts count here too. Toileting usually doesn't score for depression unless there's a separate medical issue, so most people won't get points here. But dressing and undressing might, if getting dressed feels overwhelming and someone needs to push or prompt you to do it, that's relevant. Communication is a tricky one. If you can say your name, list your meds, and talk to people normally, you probably won't score here. It's only if depression severely limits your ability to speak or understand others that it might apply. Reading is similar. If depression stops you from focusing or reading basic information, it might affect you here. Again, prompting comes into play, needing someone to read things with you or go over information you can't take in yourself. One of the most difficult areas, but also the one that can score high points, is mixing with people. If you avoid social contact, can't face others, or are overwhelmed in social settings, that's relevant. But it's hard to talk about, so be honest with yourself first. It's not about pretending to be worse than you are. It's about telling the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. If you don't see anyone, don't answer the phone, and isolate yourself daily, that's part of your reality. That matters. Budgeting decisions are also included. If depression makes it hard to understand or manage money, you may fall into this category. But this isn't about whether you're in debt. It's about how your condition affects your ability to handle basic money decisions. Mobility might surprise you. Even if you can physically walk, you might still score if you can't plan or go on journeys alone because of psychological distress. If the idea of going somewhere new causes panic, stress, or you simply don't do it, that's important. Think about a hospital appointment far away. Could you go alone? Would you even go? Do you need someone to go with you, or do you avoid it completely? If so, you could be in the higher scoring categories for mobility. Physically moving around isn't usually linked to depression, so most people won't score here unless they have another physical condition too. Now let's talk about something just as important as your answers, your evidence. Without the right evidence, your words alone might not be enough. You need to show what's really going on. What helps? Medical records, GP letters, letters from therapists or mental health teams, anything that backs up what you've said. And if you haven't spoken to a doctor recently, now's the time. Even better is if your evidence shows you've tried to help yourself. Things like being on medication and attending therapy really matter. It shows you're taking action even when it's hard. Seeing a psychiatrist helps even more. If you've only been referred but haven't seen one yet, it doesn't carry the same weight. The best case is a mix: medication, therapy, and recent reviews from a specialist or support worker. If you're struggling to get that help, sometimes being really honest with your GP can change things. Telling them exactly how bad things are, in the same way you're writing it on the PIP form, often leads to better support. Many people find that once they're truly honest about how much they're struggling, they start getting the referrals and treatment they need. GPs are busy. They need to hear clearly how bad things are to make you a priority. And that's where being blunt, or PIP blunt, makes all the difference. No sugarcoating, no trying to sound better than you are. If you're struggling, say it clearly. That's how you'll get both the PIP support and the medical support you deserve. If your current treatment isn't working, or you've been on the same meds for a long time with no change, it's time to speak up. If you're still not getting out of bed, still not eating or washing, you need more help. And that will also help your PIP claim. Getting PIP can take time. There are delays. Some claims go to tribunal, but people with depression are still winning. The key is persistence, clear evidence, and being brutally honest about how depression really affects you. You don't have to go through this alone. Many support groups, mental health charities, and even local services can offer help. But to get that help, the first step is speaking up. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. It helps us reach more people who are feeling stuck, unsure, or overwhelmed by the PIP process. And everyone deserves support.